gluten-free product industry is now a billion-dollar business, but a lot of people eating gluten-free don't necessarily need to be. So how do you know if you should be gluten-free? Well, Dr. Prem Chattoo, who owns Hudson River Gastroenterology, is here, and he has a guide on gluten. So Dr. Chattoo, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
You have to, right off the bat, a lot of people think gluten and they think carbs.
Correct.
So set the record straight for us.
So basically, gluten-free, well, gluten is an actual protein that's found in barley, wheat, rye, and in some oats.
Okay.
So what happens is, in terms of carbohydrates, that makes up most of the carbohydrates that are out there. So gluten-free diets, and in the sense of which way we want to go, and is it healthy, is it not healthy, that's kind of what everyone wants to know the answer to that question. Now, if you have a gluten intolerance versus gluten sensitivity, that's the big difference in this day and age as to what it is.
So intolerance is like celiac disease, for example?
Correct.
Okay.
So celiac disease is an autoimmune disease, and that is whereby the protein in gluten is interacting at the small intestine and causing an autoimmune reaction. So your body's rejecting your small intestine.
Okay, now you brought some things here. This is how you actually test for it.
Correct.
So what do you have here?
So what I have here is the first test which we do to see if somebody has celiac disease is taking blood work. So that's a simple test, 2 vials of blood work, and then we can either find out in a 90% certainty if they have it or not.
Okay.
Now, to definitively diagnose it, we would use an endoscope and take a small biopsy, and this goes right down into your mouth, into your small intestine, and then we take a biopsy with
small.
this. It's this small.
Okay. Now, when people find out, okay, they do have intolerance or insensitivity, what exactly should they cut out? I mean, what are you taking out of your diet? Right.
So it comes back to wheat, barley, rye, and some oats.
Okay.
And I brought some other substitutes here that we can go into.
Now, are there certain things that people say that I didn't know this had gluten in it?
Yes. So there are there's about 5 different things that I kind of didn't even know myself that I kind of looked up as well.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. You think gluten, you think starches.
Right.
However, there are certain foods such as cold cuts, meats, processed meats that actually have gluten in it that are binding it, and you would be surprised that there's gluten. So you think that, oh, I'm not eating wheat, or I'm not eating flour, I'm not having spaghetti, but there are other things like that.
Cold cuts, I did not know that had gluten in it. Okay, now you see out there people are trying to do this whole gluten-free diet, like they're doing it as a diet. Is that safe? Is that the right thing to do?
So that's a bit of a catch-22.
Okay.
So if you have a gluten-free diet and you want to lose weight, you have to go in a strict format. If you are just using a gluten-free diet and people think that it makes you healthier, that most gluten-free things are organic, they're analyzed better, so you may be healthier, but you may not be losing weight. So the question here is, do you want to lose weight, or do you want to be healthier?
Healthy, okay, that's a good question. Now, for families out there who have to eat gluten-free because they're kids, do you have some kid-friendly gluten-free items?
Yes, so I brought here, so this is Lucy's chocolate chip cookies. That is gluten-free. A lot of gluten-free substitutes, I mean, you can look on the ingredients, it's made out of cornstarch, cornmeal, it's made out of buckwheat is another good one that I was surprised to know that even though the name wheat is in there, it's actually gluten-free. Popped corn, pirate booty is another good one. Those are great for little kids. I mean, you know, I grew up on popcorn as well, and there's no gluten in there at all. And you know, everyone loves pasta, loves pizza, loves bread, and those are the things that have a lot of gluten in it, but these are great alternatives. Brown rice noodles as well as pasta, and then the breads. There's tons and tons of gluten-free options and breads in any of our Whole Food stores or any of our just regular grocery stores these days.
All right. Well, thank you so much.